So, let's dive into this idea we all know. Time heals all wounds. But, uh, is that really the full story?
Yeah, it's such a well-known phrase, but, I'm intrigued by the idea that it might not hold up completely.
Exactly. And when you really think about it,
Mm,
time alone doesn't fix everything. It's like time might reduce the rawness of our feelings, but it doesn't actively address the root of the pain.
right. Exactly. And I mean, we've all seen examples. Famous figures like Robin Williams, Princess Diana, and even Prince Harry, who, even after years, still grappled with deep emotional wounds.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very clear indication that, time simply passes without necessarily healing the underlying issues. If it worked just by being around, everyone would have moved on by now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, totally. And you know what? The problem with the phrase is that it's usually thrown around as a sort of, um, quick fix to make people feel better in rough times. It gives an impression that all one needs is to wait it out instead of, doing something active about the pain.
Right. And if we dig a little deeper, it's kind of a misconception that healing is automatic. It's more like, well, it's really a process that demands engagement and effort.
Yeah, it's a bit like, um, you can't just expect a garden to bloom without watering it, right? Time might let you plant seeds, but without nurturing them actively, nothing really grows.
Exactly. And that analogy really fits here. Simply letting time pass, just waiting for the blossoms to appear, won't address emotional neglect or already deep set traumas. You need to put energy into healing.
So then, if not time, what do you reckon actually fosters emotional healing?
Well, first off, there's the need to acknowledge the wound. I mean, actively recognizing pain, understanding its origins, and not suppressing those tough
Yep,
emotions. It's about confronting the source head on.
that makes sense. It's like if you treat your body after an injury, you don't just wait and assume it'll all disappear. You apply ice, maybe see a doctor, do some therapy. Emotional wounds need that sort of active management too.
Precisely. And along with that, building a support network is crucial. Talking to people who truly care, seeking therapy, practicing self care, or even just having those honest conversations with a friend can really help chart a course forward.
Yeah, it's amazing how much just having someone listen can lighten the load. Despite what we might think, sharing those burdens does make them more manageable.
Exactly. It's about transforming pain into understanding and, in some cases, even self empowerment. I know some might say, oh, let time work its magic, but it's, like saying the magic is in the waiting rather than in our actions.
Uh-huh. I actually, have a slight challenge to that, though. Isn't it possible that for some people, time does help by simply offering distance from the event? Like, distance sometimes enables you to see things more clearly?
That's a fair point, and yeah, distance can indeed give us perspective. But even then, if we don't work on healing, those hurt feelings can just, bubble back up or morph into something else like anxiety or depression. So, the resolution isn't solely in the passing of time.
True. So maybe it's like time being a canvas rather than the paint. It offers a structure, but you still need to add the colors with self-care and reflection.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Time provides the backdrop, but the real art of healing, comes from the active effort we invest in processing and confronting our pain.
And along with that, there's self-compassion, right? Being kind to oneself rather than pushing away or judging those lingering feelings.
Absolutely. Self compassion is fundamental here. Compassion towards oneself creates a safe environment where you can process your emotions
Right.
without blaming yourself. It's like nurturing that inner child who's been hurt.
Exactly. And the whole concept of inner child healing comes into play, recognizing that those early wounds need special attention and care, not just forgetting about them because time has passed.
Yep, it's all about diving deep into those layers of our emotions and not just brushing over them. It's also one of the core ideas behind self empowerment, taking charge of your own emotional journey rather than being passively carried along by time.
That resonates with a lot of the life lessons I've seen. You can't simply expect a scar to vanish. You must learn from it and let it guide you to a better place.
Exactly. And interestingly, this whole discussion ties back to the notion that healing is a journey, not a destination. It's like, an ongoing process where each step counts. Time may smooth the edges a bit, but active healing is what transforms those edges into something whole.
Right. It requires real intentionality. And one more thing, there's a call to action here to empower oneself through practical steps like setting daily intentions, practicing mindfulness, and even like structured self-help courses that guide you through the process.
Yes, exactly. The idea is that you shouldn't wait passively for time to do its work. Instead, you engage with the healing process. And that might include, like, professional help, support networks, and even self-driven courses that focus on negative thinking and emotional resilience.
It's definitely a modern approach to old wisdom. I mean, time heals all wounds sounds, rather romantic and simple, but when you peel back the layers, it's pretty clear that healing requires active participation.
Absolutely. And there's also a counterintuitive point here. Sometimes, if you let time pass without addressing issues, those wounds might even get re-triggered. Memories can thaw and refreeze, so to speak, letting unresolved pain seep back into your life.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation. It's like if you ignore a crack in the foundation, over time it might not just fade, but actually worsen.
Exactly. And that's why focusing on self-care, mindfulness, and active healing is so important. Instead of believing that time automatically erases pain, we need to recognize our own agency in controlling that healing process.
And I guess that's where the call for self-awareness and self-love really steps in, right?
Yes, it is. Self-awareness enables us to notice our pain and take the necessary steps to manage it. And self-love is, letting ourselves be vulnerable enough to work through that pain rather than hiding it away.
Right. It's almost like building a toolbox for your emotions. Time gives you a box, but it's up to you to fill it with the right tools like therapy, support, self-reflection, and kindness towards yourself.
Exactly. And if we put it in that perspective, healing becomes an art form, a craft that we continuously work on. And the lesson here is not to despair if healing doesn't come quickly. It's a journey that requires effort, patience, and, well, a willingness to truly face and understand our inner selves.
Yes, and that message is so important, especially in today's world where quick fixes are often sought after. It reminds us to slow down, be compassionate, and actively engage with our own well-being.
Absolutely. And it's also a reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healing. What works for one person might not work for another. It's like a really individual process.
Right. And tailoring our approach to our own experiences and needs is essential. Sometimes that means seeking professional help, while other times it may be as simple as having a heart-to-heart with a close friend.
Exactly. And if you think about it, the notion that simply waiting it out might give a false sense of hope. We have to be active participants in our recovery, acknowledging that while time can soften a wound's edge, it doesn't confront the scar itself.
And that's such a powerful insight. It really emphasizes that healing is deliberate and requires our full attention and action.
Yep. In the end, it's a blend. Time may dim the intensity, but active self-compassion, therapy, and self-reflection light the path to genuine recovery. So it's like a partnership between time and intentional healing, rather than time being the sole savior.
Indeed, for sure. And that nuanced understanding is really critical for anyone on a personal journey to mend emotional wounds. It breaks the myth and empowers each individual to take charge of their healing.
Absolutely, and that's the takeaway. While time affects how we experience pain, it doesn't magically solve the issues unless we, actively work on them.
Well said. And, it's really nice to see how modern advice is evolving to provide concrete steps towards genuine healing rather than relying on old cliches.
Yep, so for anyone listening, remember to be patient with yourself, but also be proactive. It's your journey, and every step you take in seeking help, practicing self care, or even learning more about yourself adds up to genuine, lasting healing.
Absolutely, and here's to all of us continuously learning how to better care for our emotional well being. Cheers to that.
Cheers indeed. And thanks for joining me in this discussion. Keep nurturing your inner self, and remember, healing is a process that you actively shape.
Thanks for the insightful talk. It's been a real eye opener. Take care, everyone.